Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we got all of this auto-sieving set up. And I have since upgraded it a bit between videos. You might notice there's a 4 throwback here now doing Blackstone. And in general, I've just been running it for a very long time, which is why I have so much stuff now. Also, I filled them up with storage upgrades, so now they can hold 2.1 million blocks each, as opposed to, what was it previously? About 4,000? Yeah, this is a lot better. Also, while I was trying to get this all to run, I did get some gold upgrades in these. I haven't got 3 in all of them, because I've been running into quite a lot of problems in scaling this up. And you might think it's power problems, and I did think that initially, but I wasn't. The initial problem was that I wasn't getting enough diamonds to run the dynamo, but that was actually because I wasn't running the sieves as often as I could have. I was mostly just doing the dust, because I was running out of cobblestone going through the whole system. So I've had to quickly throw together some semblance of a cobblestone generator, a bigger one, and this isn't quite triple speed, but it's close, and it's enough to hold up right now, but it's not enough to have all of these at maximum upgrades. Also, to save on cobblestone, some of the recipes that didn't do anything, I've just stopped them outputting. So yeah, I've got this fairly fine-tuned now to get as much out of it as I can, and I'm still barely making a profit of cobblestone, but the profit is like half a cobblestone a second, so I'm really pushing it. Anyway, before I get going with the plan for this video, I want to touch on a bit of housekeeping. I've been advised to try out the... what's it called? The GregTech Refreshed Texture Pack. And I've looked into it a little bit on my own, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. So you can see here, all of the machines have different textures to them. Well, every GregTech thing has different textures. It does make these machines stand out a bit more from each other. You've got the grey of LV, the blue of MV, and the white of HV, indicating the steel, stainless steel, and aluminium. I think that's fine. And then some of the multi-blocks have different textures to them as well. And it's okay, but it just feels a little out of place. Maybe I'm not used to seeing them yet. They just feel like something from a different game. I don't know, it doesn't feel like it fits in Minecraft. But I can leave it on for this video and see how it goes, and you can tell me in the comments if you prefer it or not. At this point I could go either way, because it's a difference between outdated textures or textures that look a little weird. And I don't know if I can decide between the two. But anyway, with that out of the way, I can get on to the plan for this video. Ooh, it's changed some of the item textures. Ooh, some of the items do look quite a lot nicer. And it's a lot more apparent which power tier they're from. The molds actually look like molds now. I don't know. All the ores look different now as well. That's starting to sway me a bit more, but I'll still leave it up to the comment section to decide. Anyway, the plan for this video is to finish up some of the preparations for EV? Is EV next? Yes. And one of the things that I've been wanting to get for a while now is the HV energy hatch, so I can run all of these multi-blocks a bit quicker. And if power is not going to be so much of an issue right now, then I can probably get away with this. That does mean I'm going to have to connect the lapidary dynamo through everything, and maybe give it some more upgrades. But I also think if I've got time, I'll get the diesel going properly, because TrulyNo told me that yeah, it's from a fluid drilling rig, not from soul sand, which, even though it's drilling from the void, it makes weirdly more sense than getting it from soul sand. So if I've got time, I'll make this. It doesn't seem too complicated. I mean, multiple even. Depends how hard the distilling process is. I think it's distilling. Anyway, HV energy hatch. What do I need for this? HV machine hull, obviously. Gold cable, pretty simple. High voltage coil. Fine black steel wire. Organic steel rod, that's easy. Black steel wire. I'm gonna need some more black steel. So I should probably automate this a little bit. So a black steel ingot takes black steel dust, which takes black bronze dust. That is the wrong dust. And then I can make the recipe for black steel wire, or the fine black steel wire rather, and then the high voltage coil block. So what else do I need for the energy hatch? May as well make the recipe for the machine hull. If it wasn't for this additional program circuit, I could just make the machine casings in here. I'm still gonna have to make it manually for now. And then I need sodium potassium for this. So obviously, sodium and potassium dust. I have sodium. I don't have potassium. How do I get potassium? I can get it from saltpeter, and I can get a tiny bit of it from pollucite. I have plenty of saltpeter, so I may as well just make this manually. That should give me a bit of potassium. Enough for now that I can continue making these recipes. And then last, I need LPIC chips. So I need LPIC wafers. So I need an orange lens. Glass lens and orange dye? And probably best to make a recipe for this. So let's see, what do I need for the glass lens? Well, I need orange dye, and yeah, a glass lens. I'm just automating the liquid side of things. So glass lens... glass pane on a lathe? I don't have spare glass panes. Does it work? No, it doesn't seem to work with the regular glass panes. I need a GregTech glass pane. So just glass on a cutter. And then orange dye is pretty easy. Although I don't have any spare yellow dye. I do have dandelions though. So there we go, orange dye. So I can make the orange lens. Why is it not making the lens? Oh, it's gotta be HV. Okay. This isn't too hard for me to make. Right, there. Chemical bath. I'll just swap over the pattern provider. Let's try this again. Seems like it's doing it this time. Oh, right. I haven't set up the auto export yet. Okay, there we go. So then with this, and the laser engraver, I can make the LPIC wafers. And then I can take the wafers and stick them in the cutter. And that gets me the chips that I need. So I only put through 3 wafers. So that's only going to be enough to get 6 hatches. And if I want overclocking, that's only going to be enough for 3 multi-blocks. So I'm going to need some more wafers. So I'll probably just work towards that in the background for a bit. Meanwhile, I think that's all I need for the energy hatch. So let me see. I want to make all 6. Oh, I've got to wait for the last few chips to come through. I need a bit more potassium dust. So I'll stick all the saltpeter through. It is currently being used by clay, but that's all done now. So I can get the silicon boule on the way. I think that's what it is. Still takes 200 seconds. Meanwhile, why do I not have that last chip? Ah, there isn't enough water in there. May as well go overboard with it. Right, now I've got enough. So I can just set that going. And it's gonna take a while. Okay, so I've managed to craft 3 of these with some difficulty, but something's wrong. It doesn't seem to want to make the rest of it for some reason. Okay, it just put the wrong stuff in the mixer? Now it's working fine? Now it's actually remembering to put it in the blast furnace? This automation still has some kinks in it. Maybe because I ran out of power in the middle of it? Yeah, because power problems are quite big right now. Mostly when I'm trying to run all of these blast furnaces at once. I'm actually not going to do that again, because I can't run all 4 of the electric blast furnaces at once, and then when that doesn't work, I don't get power through here, and I don't get power into the ME system, and things start glitching out. And I have been trying to connect up the lapidary dynamo to all of these to get some additional power in, but it's not doing as much as I thought it would be doing. Something feels wrong. And I think what's wrong is that this saying it's transferring 32,000 FE is less than how much I produce here. So maybe energy pipes just aren't the answer. And the lapidary dynamo it's only outputting at like 10% strength. It's definitely producing enough power. I'm just not outputting it. And I have no idea how. Also, the mixer broke again. It just got full, I think. And I still have to babysit this quite a lot. Why is this not working? What is wrong? Is one of the recipes wrong in here? Yes. Both of these are completely incorrectly balanced. No wonder it's not making enough. Well, I think the main takeaway from doing all of this is, if I'm going to put these HV energy hatches everywhere, I really want that increased power. And I think the best way for me to do that right now, if I get the diesel setup going, I can be generating more total power, but I want to experiment with something. And if I put a redstone flux cell there, and just surround it with ports, then in theory, I should be able to take out of it 4 times as much? Maybe? Although the dynamo isn't producing any more. Maybe I'm just not... Yeah, the blast furnaces are done, so I'm not consuming power quite as much anymore. Let's get those energy hatches going again. I need some steel dust. I'm not actually using the blast furnaces right now, so I'm not really going to be draining as much power. Oh wait, no. I am using them. So let's just get all of these going, so I can start draining a bunch of power. Yep, I'm running out now. But this isn't doing any more. And it is connected into the whole system, right? And it does work that way. Oh, now the blast furnaces are finished. I've got all the hatches now. What is wrong with this? I'm not entirely sure how the pipes mod works, but I'm pretty sure the pipe itself can transmit infinite power. It's just how much it draws at a time. So if it draws from multiple places at once, then with this drawing 4 times, it's effectively 4 times as much. So then it's effectively transmitting 4 times as much power. I think that's the logic behind it, but I haven't been able to do anything to prove it yet. Are there different pipes I could use? There's the universal pipe, but I don't trust that. I've already said that I don't want to just start stretching GregTech cables everywhere. There's all this flux stuff that could work, but that takes EV. What does the power quest line say about this? Nothing about power transmission, just about generation. I really think energy pipes are my best bet here. Maybe I'm being limited by the flux cell? I can get some of these upgrades to increase transfer, so then maybe there's a limit to how much the energy pipes can take out. I'll just go up to soul infused for the sake of experimenting. So I just need to get all of these base upgrades, and then 6 soul infused gears, and then put them all in the alloy smelter. And there, that's all the soul infused here. Let me see. Oh, there's only enough for 2 of these. I'll do high flux and expanded. Or not. Am I only able to have 1 of these at a time? I think so. Well, now I'm consuming all of my output, but I'm just filling up the flux cell. But now I can also increase the output by quite a lot. Yep, I'm using all the power in the lapidary dynamo to fill this up. Has quite a lot of space now. And it should allow 160,000 in transferring? So then I'm just going to start consuming a ton of power. Let me see. I'm still building inside the flux cell. Whoa, all of the blast furnaces are flashing. That doesn't really give me that much hope that this is doing well. Well, the cell's full, and it doesn't look like the lapidary dynamo is going to be consuming that much more. Oh, no. It's still going down. Back to 10% output. What am I doing wrong here? So just to make sure that I'm not doing something really dumb, I'm going to lay some parallel wires down. I don't care about them being in a good spot. I'm just going to steal some more wires, just for a little bit, for science. If I just wire in a second connector, that fixes it. So I can just run a bunch of parallel power. Yeah, look at that, now it's consuming more. And I know these energy pipes do transfer some power because they worked here. Do they have a range limit? Let me see if Google can help me out here. I couldn't really get any conclusive answers, but I could be reading into it wrong. It was saying that it has trouble extracting from the same block from multiple different ports. So having 4 connectors like that doesn't extract at 4 times the speed. It would only ever do 1 of them at a time. And pretty much the only way to get it to pull out more is to get a better pipe upgrade. And the only tier better than this I can do is Ultimate. But that takes EV. So maybe I just can't use this to full effectiveness for a little while? I don't know. I'm just gonna run some parallel wires and hope for the best to fix my power problems for the time being. So then I'm gonna want to get a lot of diamond wires. So I may as well go a bit overboard on it. I'd still like some help here because I don't like having to do all of these parallel wires. But if this really is the best solution, then I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe there's some better pipes I've been missing. Maybe there's some better wires I can use with the connectors. But for now, I'm just going to do this and hope for the best. Because this is technically 5 times faster. I do need to do this kind of funky looking connection to get it to go across this diagonal. Because doing it parallel, it doesn't stretch. Okay, now I just have wires going everywhere. But maybe that solves my power problems for now. Who knows? Let's do the blast furnace test. All 4 of them are running. I'm not running out of power here. I'm starting to put stress on the lapidary dynamo. It all seems like it's working. Although this now opens up a new thing where I can just start upgrading the coil again and start getting more power. I should still probably invest in a better power source like diesel, but if I really need some last-ditch extra power, I can just start throwing some more neodymium on this. But it all seems to be working. No idea how well it'll hold up when I start doing HV power everywhere. Well, if I want to do that, I'm going to need more energy hatches, so I'm going to need more of these LPIC chips. I'm also going to need to get some more power to be able to put around here. Some more of the energy converters. And I think I may as well separate the multi-smelter from the blast furnaces, because this was not a great solution. If I want to have all the blast furnaces going at once, and the multi-smelter, I just cannot transmit enough power through these wires. So I'll separate them. I'm going to need another 16A converter though, so I'm going to need some very big lumium wires. So I need a lot more lumium. And I have some spare ingots, so I may as well just get it going now. That's 4 16 times lumium wires. I'll need 3 more machine hulls, and 3 more HV circuits. And then how many total energy hatches am I going to need? 2, 5, 13? And I have 6, so that's 7 more. Do I really not have enough LPIC chips? I'm going to need another wafer for that. Right, well there's the 16 times converter, and there's 2 4 times. Now I'm just going to be waiting on lumium for a while before I can actually set all of this up. I can still set up some of the little things, like I can get this machine going. So now the ore factory is EV, and I've barely got enough to afford to do the multi-smelter. So now that's up to EV, and then if I get some more wires going, and I make those 7 hatches, I can connect up the blast furnaces too, and now they're all running at EV. Although, I'm probably back to the same power problems, because now that they're overclocked to EV, they're consuming 4 times as much power, and I'm only putting 3 times as much in. So I'm really going to need that power fix if I want to be running these at any capacity. I think if I can connect 5 ports to this, maybe? That's going to be tricky. I do have some spare wire though. Okay, so that's 5 connectors into the 1 wire. I really hope I can run this at full capacity. I'm going to disconnect it briefly. Oh, but the vault's still got power in there. Okay, it's not really going to matter. I'll just put 1 in all of these. Let me see. No, it's going down. Oh, that's because I'm using all of the dynamo. Okay. I can only run 2 of these at EV. Oh wait, no, they've just run through their output. Yeah, I'm gonna need some pretty significant power upgrades. So then I think between videos, I might upgrade the generator coil a bit more, and have that in charge. If this can generate 16k, that can take 2 of these wires, and then the dynamo can take the other 3, and then hopefully I've got max transfer rate going into all of these. But I don't have time to do that in this video. I'm already at the limit of what I can record today, because all of this has just taken so long. I would have liked to get some slightly more substantial progress. What are these guys doing here? Get off my island. I wonder if there's a command to disable those guys the way you can with the traders. Anyway, I thought I would have had time to get some of this oil rig going, but I spent way too long troubleshooting all the power problems. And, you know, getting the HV ports to be able to run all of these. This was a lot more work than I thought it would be. I'm still hoping there's a power solution that I'm not seeing, because I really don't want to have to resort to this. So if there is one, please tell me about it. But for now, this is the best I can do, and this is probably all I can fit in this video. So if this is enough for right now, then maybe I can use this going into EV, but once I'm in EV, I'm absolutely going to have to upgrade. But I think I'll be ready to enter EV pretty soon. I'm not sure what exactly that'll entail, but I think the first step's going to be getting the advanced circuit assembler and going down this line here. And I think, yep, the EV chip requires a clean room, so that's going to be a decent amount of work. But that's not for this video. I think I'm done. So I'm just going to leave this here. Bye.